Hello YouTube viewers, this is my America's Got Talent quarterfinals week 5, the YouTube auditions, review and prediction. Okay, so I'm just giving you a heads up now that I have school tomorrow, so I'm going to try and make this video really short and really continuous so I don't have to do a lot of editing tonight. Also, I want to say that last week I was wrong on one of the acts. It was the first time I've ever been wrong. One of the acts I chose to go through did not go through, but that meant one of my other favorite acts, Melissa Villasenor, the comedian, and ended up going through, so kind of worked out good for me. So anyways, these 12 acts were chosen from YouTube auditions. America's Got Talent viewers voted for the top 12 acts, and they were able to go straight through to the quarterfinals after auditioning on the internet. So they have never been on the show before, so you're not going to recognize any of these names. The first act to go up was TNC Elite. They're a clogging group. They're like a hip-hop clogging group. They dance to hip-hop songs. The problem I have with this group is that the clogging didn't go with the music. The clogging was just trying to overpower the music, as one of the judges said, and it just sounded like a bunch of annoying tapping during the middle of a good song. So I don't think they're going to go through because it really just angered me, and I don't think America's going to like it either. So no. The next act to go after that was illusionist Brett Daniels. He's a 50-year-old illusionist. He did this trick kind of about Marilyn Monroe where he took her picture out of a painting and then she appeared in real life. It was a cool trick. I mean, the girl appeared, the Marilyn Monroe character appeared and then disappeared, and I don't know where she went. The problem I had with the act was that it was so slow. He did a portion where he was just kind of moving around and dancing with Marilyn Monroe, and the music was so slow, and I just got so bored. And I was excited at the beginning when he made the person appear. I was excited when he made the person disappear. And in the middle, I wanted to sleep. So I don't think he's going to make it through. The next act to go up was Gabe Rocks. It's an animal act, but it's a very simple animal act. All the dog really did was go around some poles. He pushed a buzzer imitating Piers, and then he peed on a figurine of Piers, like a cardboard cutout of Piers, and that was pretty, the act was funny, and I laughed, but it's not gonna move on because it's just too simple and too silly to really be a true contender in this competition. The next act to go after that was Aeon, I think that's how you pronounce it. They're a parkour dancing group. They did parkour dancing. They had a lot of dancers. It was really high energy, hip, but the problem was they really only did 3 tricks during their whole performance. I mean, there was a wall, a small wall, which they literally hopped off and did a backflip 6 or 7 times. So it just got really repetitive and boring, so I don't think they're going to move on. The next act to go up was Brina Bell. She's an 8-year-old dancing contortionist. Very cute, very fun. She did her dance routine to Walking on Sunshine. It was a lot of fun to watch, but again, the problem was repetitiveness, and she kept doing the same contortions over and over. And she's just not skilled enough to move on. She's so young, and the act is not going to be a Vegas act. It can't sustain itself. So this is not the competition for her. The next act to go up was Kevin Colas. He's a singer. He was probably one of my favorite acts of the night just because there haven't been a lot of really good male singers this season. The only one that I can really think of is Landon Eugene Murphy Jr., the Frank Sinatra singer. This guy had a really, really current, kind of jazzy but soulful voice, and he sang Lazy Song by Bruno Mars, and his voice fit really well, and he did a cool interpretation of the song. It didn't really deviate a lot from the original, but just his voice fit well with it, and he was into it. You could tell he was a little nervous, but even though he was nervous, he still got the crowd going. He has a really, really good voice compared to a lot of male singers that have been on the show and that did make it to the quarterfinals. I think he has a great possibility of moving on. The next act to go up was Beth Ann Robinson. She's a 14-year-old independent dancer. Her dance style is like contemporary dancing. She was probably one of my favorite acts just because I like contemporary dancing, but I don't think she's going to move on just because in order to move on as an independent single dancer, you have to be outstandingly amazing if you're not going to have any background dancers with you. You don't... I mean, a Vegas show can't sustain itself on one person dancing around. I like contemporary dancing personally, but will it connect with America? I don't know. She's a really good dancer for 14 years old, but I don't know if it'll be enough for her to move on to the semis. The next act to go up was Gymkhana. They're a unique gymnastics sort of troupe. They did this ladder routine where people were hanging off of ladders and doing shapes. It was one... I have never really seen anything like that at all, which really made it cool for me. This act was just different in a good way. Not different in a bad way. Different in a good way, in that it showed me gymnastics. It showed me very cool styles of not really dance, but tumbling, acrobatics. But it had new elements, and there were people on ladders, which made it a lot cooler. I think they have a good chance. So I think they have a good chance of moving on. The next act to go up was Kehlani Basketball Freestyle. He's this guy from Hawaii who does basketball tricks. He juggles, he spins them on his finger. I mean, it was cool. He messed up a few times, but I had to cut him some slack because I'm sure he was really nervous. This was his first show ever on the America's Got Talent live shows, and he did really well. Do I think basketball juggling is going to win America's Got Talent? No. But for his act, he's really good at what he does. I don't think he's going to move on. I feel bad for him because he's really good at what he does, but it's just not really tailored towards a Vegas act. The next act to go up was West Springfield Dance Team. My favorite act of the night by far. They're a dance team that does really dark, I don't know what kind of style you would call it. I guess it's like a popping routine, but like popping hip hop, but it was dark and the music was dark and they had like kind of Halloween costumes on. It looked awesome. I loved it. The routine was so cool. The choreography was outstanding. Really cool routine, and I think they have a really great chance of moving on. I love them. Next act to go up was Matt Wilhelm. Now, before he went on, Nick announced that he had gotten the most votes from America out of all the YouTube acts that were voted on. He's a blacklight bike act. He does cycling tricks, but in like a blacklight thing. He was really good, but the problem I had with this act was I don't know if it really was received well from the television side, because he was wearing this suit which glowed in the dark, but it was really light colored, so I couldn't really see him. I could see the bike, but I couldn't really see him. That was my problem with the act. I couldn't see him while he was doing his tricks, and you couldn't see the bike. So I missed a good section. I just saw kind of this blob moving around. I missed a good section of the act, but from what I hear from the judges, he was the best act of the night for them. So I think he has a good chance of moving on. The final act of the night was Powerhouse Choir. They're a choir group. Now this act really bugged me, and I don't know why. For some reason they bugged me. I am all about choirs and Glee Club and all that. But they started off their opening segment saying, "We're the choir that inspired Glee." And when you say that, you hold yourself to such a high standard if you're saying that you inspired the show Glee, one of the most popular shows on TV today. And I don't think they lived up to it at all. It sounded okay. They did Firework by Katy Perry. The dancing was cheesy. The singing was cheesy, and it was just not that good. It didn't really mesh together. I didn't like it at all, and neither did Howie, but Sharon and Piers really liked it. And I don't know why, I just didn't like them. But I think for the fact that they were upbeat and energetic, they may have a chance of going on. We'll see. Okay, so remember, I'm going to choose 5 acts which I think have the best chance of moving on. Then I'm going to choose the 4 acts which I think will actually move on. For the 5 acts I think that will be in the top 5 spots, I think it's going to be Kevin Colas, the singer, Gymkhana, the acrobatics group, West Springfield Dance Team, Matt Wilhelm, the Blacklight Cyclist, and Powerhouse Choir. I want to see Beth Ann Robinson, the dancer, but I don't think she's going to connect with America enough. And out of those 5, I think the 4 that are going to move on are Kevin Colas, Gymkhana, West Springfield Dance Team, and Matt Wilhelm. I don't think Powerhouse Choir is going to move on just because I don't think it was received well by enough people. Remember that America's Got Talent comes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember to rate the video with a thumbs up. Do that new reaction thing in the bottom right of the video. Say it was whatever, just not the lowest one, please. And comment and subscribe maybe. And tell me who you think will move on. Tell your friends about these videos because you should tell them to watch it. And I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.